did I did a LinkedIn Live last night, so I went through the same kind of things.
Well, right now we are live and we are ready to rock and roll here on the Pirate Broadcast. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, the Pirate Broadcast is all about interesting people doing interesting things. And Randal has been a pirate. He is a pirate already.
Yeah, I'm already a pirate.
And we had a show with Calvin, and I hope Calvin's doing well and hanging out there and at home and doing good things. The thing that we wanted to do, though, is I had Samantha Glover on yesterday, and we were talking about data and analytics and some of the things like that. And I know that Randal is very passionate about taking a look at analytics and the data around LinkedIn and what's going on and how growth happens and what he's seen in the past. And it kind of, I just wanted to talk about this because I think it's important for LinkedIn community to understand that, it's what you think is happening may not always be happening. And then we can actually understand a little bit more and go a little deeper into this. So Randal, welcome to the Pirate Broadcast number 2.
Number 2, how about that?
How are you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing fine, Got it. We got out the audio and the speakers, the mics, and all working, so we're doing good, I guess.
We had a few technical issues this morning, but nothing that we couldn't handle, and so we're back on board and we're making it happen this morning. So one of the things that you and I have been going back and forth in chat and stuff like that is that noticing trends, noticing some things that are happening and taking place, and you're getting a lot of traction from other companies that are sending you things because you're reporting on these things. And I think that is fabulous. Can you kind of walk us through what's taken place in the last year as you've grown your LinkedIn community out?
Yeah, now I'm getting a little more attention from a few different manufacturers, and they're figuring, well, if I'm talking about them, why don't they send me some product, the product that I'm talking about. And the one that was really cool this last week was they had a bread. Okay, most of my background's in frozen. Okay, and this company out of Europe came up with a bread that looked exactly like a football.
What?
I mean, exactly like a football. I couldn't get over it. I mean, it was just so realistic. Not like a real football, but like a Nerf football, I guess you can say. But it was pretty awesome. And inside the bread, it's got Nutella inside. So wow. I don't know about you. That sounds good.
that'd be popular in Australia, right?
Yeah, no doubt. But the deal is, the company makes American footballs. It makes the soccer balls, and they have patents on it. And anyway, it's just very, very interesting. So anyway, that's being sent over to me. I spent time talking about this pasta company out of Fresno, California, Fior de Pasta. I guess I said it right. And it's Anthony Primavera, has this pasta company, and he's very active on LinkedIn. And one thing about the food business, there's not a whole bunch of people that have 10,000 or more follower, connections.
Right.
It's kind of rare in the food business. So the deal is he's very well connected. So he's got some ravioli with meat coming my way. I think that's what the deal is. So that's not too bad. And then I have some those whoopie pies. Those whoopie pies, I guess they sold in certain parts of the company, but I got some hoopie pies coming. So that's something a little different. So I had 3 different pies coming, and then on top of that, I have. You know how you have the kind bars you eat the bars that are healthy? Well, there's another company going to send something similar to that. And so anyway, that's 4 different things coming my way this week.
Well, I think it's phenomenal. And I just makes me smile because that's the way things can work. The whole, and you got this other side of the coin where, Instagram, there's a lot of Instagram famous people and, they go out there and then they promote products and things like that. And, I think LinkedIn is also evolving and changing that landscape, because there's a lot of influencers on LinkedIn that are doing great things and sharing some great information. And a lot of that is around, marketing, media, and content creation. However, you're actually talking about the food industry and actually engaging with some of these people at the top levels of industry and
Oh,
going
definitely.
forward. And it's amazing what progress you've been able to make in the last, how long have you been really pushing on this?
Well, I started writing about a lot of different food products that were produced in the U.S. Let's say like 6 years ago. Okay, but the last 2 years ago, I really kicked it up.
Yeah.
My dad had Alzheimer's, and I spent time with him. I was caught up, taking care of him and taking care of Calvin. And the deal is, I figured, well, you know what? I'm going to see if I can spend a lot of time working with Calvin. So I started bringing him to the stores with me more often, and spending time with him. And my wife would take care of my father, and that's how it got started. And the deal is, that's right around the time that the LinkedIn video started. If you remember, LinkedIn video started in, I think it's August of 2017.
Yep.
And then later, I got started in January. So I was like looking at all these things that are going on video, and like, what's going on here? So in January, I jumped into it. And I remember because it was right around Super Bowl time, right around that same time. So it's January.
Yeah.
And Calvin and I have been doing videos for the last 2 years or whatever,
Yeah.
And we started the LinkedIn Live. We got the invitation in August, and we started doing LinkedIn Lives in January.
Oh, wow. So you were really early in that equation.
Yeah. But remember, everybody that was on the video, that's all people coming from Facebook and Twitter, and they were already doing video on other platforms. So as far as people starting with video that had never done it on any other platform, that was kind of rare, I'd say.
Very rare. So it's made a difference in your business then.
Definitely got some attention. There's no doubt about that. We'll see where it goes down the road, but definitely got attention. Hey, the one thing I wanted to tell you is that this week I did a post. I did a post on two things that I saw that kind of make a difference. Gary Vee did a video.
I was going to ask you about that video. You made a comment on it and you shared it, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And first, what I wanted to do, though, Randal, is I wanted to thank everybody for being here. Angie, Gabriel, Frank, good morning. Lewis, thank you for being here. Hi, Randal, he says. And Vicky O'Neill, you're awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Wendy, always a pleasure. And Debbie, good morning. How are you doing? I love that. Nutella genius, she says. Sarathy, Jessica, Nick Norman, a great way to start the morning. Jessica Gio, thank you so much for everyone being here. We're talking to Randal Constant, and we're talking about data and some of the things that are going on LinkedIn and why it's important for you to kind of pay attention to the landscape. And we all can make a difference. We all have a voice. We all have a message. We all have something that we can contribute to the community. And Randal, go into what triggered you to post that link to the post that Gary Vee did, where he's talking about LinkedIn and going in on LinkedIn and saying that it's like Facebook in 2012. So,
yeah, the thing is, he did a video maybe that was 30 minutes or 40 minutes. And then this kind of showed you how he repurposed it. He took the 4-minute cut out of the deal. Okay. Yeah. I actually paid attention to 2 minutes of it, but he actually made a clip that was 4 minutes long. And it basically tells you that, hey, you remember Facebook in 2012 when it was getting going, when it was really getting hot? That's where LinkedIn is right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one thing. And then just a couple days later, which was yesterday, Shay Rowbottom and Grant Cardone were talking about how can Grant do better on LinkedIn. So here you got Grant Cardone asking Shay, hey, what can I do to get going? So if Grant is asking that right now, that tells you that LinkedIn's really starting to,
Yeah.
going.
It's kind of interesting too, because, you and I and a lot of people that we know in the circles we run into, I mean, we're already active. There's a lot of people that we're connected with that are very active in LinkedIn, and they're here every day making comments and going back and forth and everything else. So we may not be the best one to see what is actually happening on LinkedIn. At least, it's like when you're in the forest, it's hard to see the trees kind of thing. And it's just amazing to start hearing that. It's like, okay, we've been doing this for a while, and the data is what is interesting, because you and I have been going back on some of the things that the data is telling us. And it's like, okay, how many times do you post a day, and when's the best time to post during the day, and how to make comments and get the algorithm working and all of those things. I wanted to talk a little bit about that, because being on LinkedIn is I think, to me, is really where it's at, and you can make a huge impact in your business and the community. However, it's still important for us to understand that we have to utilize the best use of our time, and make sure that the efforts that we're putting in place are making as much progress as we can. And so data, like we were talking with Samantha yesterday, that's kind of important to understand, is like, what is the data telling us, and what you see. So talk a little bit about what you've noticed in the past, because I know that you enjoy working with data and watching the data and seeing what the progress is, and how it's impacting the outcome.
Well, the one thing I can tell you, on YouTube, there's a ton of data.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, on YouTube, tons of data. But when you get to LinkedIn, not so much.
Right.
And I'll just say this: at the beginning of the year, in January and February, I don't know what the deal was, but I was getting quite a bit of activity. In fact, I was averaging 5,000 views a day on what I was posting, and that was pretty. That's pretty good.
That's healthy. Yeah.
And here's the old way. Now we're just talking about a year ago. This is how I did my calculations.
Uh-huh.
I posted. I went ahead and wrote down. Okay, on Monday I did a post and it had 500 views. Okay, and then when you got to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you would come back to the Monday to see where it's at. Now it's not 500. Now it's 600. And then 3 weeks from now, you come back to it and it's 25 more. So I just kept on adding. But the problem was that although your posts are growing, it started to get harder and harder to go back to the original data that you posted to see where it was at. Yeah. So, and then what would happen, I don't know about you, but on my iPhone, what it would do is, once you got 3 or 4 weeks down the road, back, then your phone would kick out, have a heart attack, and then you would have to start all over again, and then you'd have to scroll back and scroll and scroll. So the thing is, that once something gets 30 days old, 99% of your views are already there. Uh-huh. Sometimes your views come around 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 days down the road, So you always have to go back to see, if it's continuing to add on the views. So anyway, that's what I did in January and February. And it took a lot of time to do that, to see exactly what your posts were doing. Okay. And then somewhere around May, I saw Zach Scriven. He did something about this app called Shield app. Uh-huh. And I said, wow, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's fantastic. So all of a sudden here I had to pay $10 to this company in Copenhagen, Denmark. And I'm thinking, I don't know about this. Oh, okay, but it sounds like it's it's the real deal. So I went ahead, put the $10 in, and little by little, the data that you were getting from the company, in my case, it went back a few weeks. I was hoping it would have went to the beginning of the year, but it didn't. Uh-huh. It gave me data for the whole month of May. And then the deal that happened as time went by, the analytics got better and better and better as time went by. So it's like, wow, this is awesome, fantastic. So now I'm in a situation like, okay, so we're in January, and I was able to get the data for May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So now I know exactly what I accomplished during those 8 months.
Yeah.
And I think that's good because saying that you're active on LinkedIn and being active on LinkedIn is two different things. And the data verifies that people have seen whatever you've done, and that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah. Well, I think there's two sides of that coin. One is being active and building your posts up and for your authority and visibility. And also, I think it's also really a good, and I don't think the data tells you this as much, is your interaction and engagement in other people's posts. I think there's a cause and effect.
Right, exactly.
I think there's cause and effect because if you're engaging in other people's posts and going out and doing this, it's really going to impact eventually back to you. However, it's really hard to talk to the data that, okay, if I post on Randall's post, if I go on your post and make comments and engage, there's no way to track any of that time and activity.
But I think here, this is where the social selling index score comes into play.
Right.
And that's the one thing that LinkedIn has right, because it gives you a score. And from what I can tell, I think it's pretty accurate. I think it pretty much gives you an idea of what you're accomplishing there.
Well, it's a great reflection.
So in my case, what I say is that now I've done a lot of digging and looking and whatever. And when it was all said and done, this is probably still pretty accurate. The average person in the food and beverage industry has an average score of 19. That's the average score. And the recruiting industry has the highest average score. They're up around 30. So there you go. I mean, you kind of have an idea what the average is, and as long as your social selling index score is advancing past whatever the base is, then that's a good thing. So most of the people that get involved, that share their score with me, are trying their best to make things happen. And when they send me the score, it's usually in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Uh-huh.
So that's good. That's really, really good, because that's 2 or 3 times their average.
And I think Brenda Miller shared a story on that and how a little bit more detail around the SSI. And it's really important to, it's like, okay, what to pay attention to. Like I don't share as many. I think it's in my score, I don't post enough of other people's posts in the recommendation of the stories and their stories that they publish.
Yeah.
LinkedIn publish. And that's okay. I mean, I'm okay with that. I still got a high score. I think I'm 85. I hover around 84, 85, which is pretty good.
Yeah, for me, for the year, I basically bounced around between 80 and 87. That's where I've basically landed.
You can tell when you're doing work and when you're taking a break, right?
No, you can, yeah. Because once you start getting but in my case, once I start getting down to 80, then I gotta get working again, but look, it's just like eating.
Yeah.
It's just like you do a lot of a particular thing that you like to do, and you get points for other things that you don't really care to do. And if you don't take your time to do what you don't care to do, you won't get a higher score.
Yeah.
And what I find is that I'd rather have a lower score and do what I feel, that I feel like I want to do.
Yeah, it's like we're all here to do something that we love, right? It's like, okay, well, and I think LinkedIn is a huge opportunity for, building relationships that actually turn into business.
Right.
All my business right now is based on relationships. and building, highlighting people like yourself and highlighting people that are on the Pirate broadcast brings me joy. I mean, it starts my day off right. I get to talk to interesting people and find out what they're doing. And, it's a great way to share in the community to what we're doing. So if you're not following the Pirate broadcast, hashtag Pirate broadcast.
You have to follow the Pirate broadcast. That's what it comes down to. Hey, but the deal is, hey, you could read a post and you could look at a picture.
Uh-huh.
But when you see 2 minutes of the Pirate broadcast, you have a pretty good idea of, hey, I'd like to be connected with that particular person because that person speaks my language.
Yeah.
Just like yesterday, the lady that you had yesterday,
Samantha.
Wow.
Yeah.
She was math. She had the math skills, and I was like, wow, that's something. I like that. So I sent her a request and we connected. You see, so because of the Pirate broadcast, I connected with her. Otherwise, I may have never found.
Yeah. That's the beauty is we all have a circle of influence that we may not cross paths unless we connect and actually join in. So, it's always good. And this is
Brenda. I talked with Brenda a day or two after you had your deal, and then she's right up my alley because I think a lot of us are all talking to each other and watching what everybody's doing because we all want to know what the opinions are.
Yeah.
What's making the view count go up? What do you think? What does she think? What everybody thinks, and then if everybody thinks the same thing, then it must be right. If
the results of everybody's activity are in line and the results are consistent with that opinion, then we kind of can say, okay, it looks like this is what's happening, right? Because we'll never know in the back office.
No, we'll never know.
But like John Asperian and Vicky O'Neill and Shelley and Brenda and Jeff Young, all of those individuals, there's a lot of people out there that are really paying attention to this stuff. And I love all of these individuals to help out and grow. And it's always awesome to connect with them. And I would love to have more time to actually spend on LinkedIn. I literally could spend all my time on LinkedIn. However, it's the activity brings us work. So then we have clients that we have to do work for.
Right. And once you're doing that, then that takes away your time.
Yeah.
That's why you're on LinkedIn in the first place, is to keep you busy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you don't have time, then that's fine. But I do feel that when I used to go to a food show, the first thing I would always ask, and I asked this question a long time ago, are you on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't need to be on LinkedIn. I heard the story all the time, and then I was all into being on LinkedIn, and I know I took a little heat, wasting your time. That's for the resumes and all the different things that I heard. But I mean, you actually get things done because just for instance, I'm just saying, the bread that looks like a football. Well, the thing that's going to happen, though, they're going to send me the samples, and I'm going to be eating this bread that nobody ever saw, right? Or very few people have seen, and they're going to say, "Wow, that's interesting," and that's where that's going to change what's going to happen with that bread. It's going to be more well known, and the guy that's got it, it's Jeffrey Landsman is the guy that's working the deal, and he'll do some more business just by me talking about it because I think it's just a unique item that doesn't come around too often.
I think it's a brilliant idea.
This is innovation.
Yeah, it's total innovation, and I just love it because you have an opportunity to move the needle into other people's business. And that's really what it's about is okay, once you have a platform and you're on video and you broadcast and you share these things, there's no way that people can't unsee that stuff. It's planted in their brain. And it doesn't cost the company anything.
No, no.
It'd be nice to have them at least send you a loaf, so you can experience it.
Hey, it's just like I did. Look, during Thanksgiving, I had the Popeyes Cajun fried turkey, right?
Yeah.
And I've been in the turkey business. I sold turkey in my career, and I'm thinking to myself, there's a lot of people around the country that don't know too much about Popeyes, and they haven't seen the turkey. And I decided to put the turkey up there, and the other reason was all the crazy stuff about the chicken sandwich, right? In fact, the last thing we were talking about it, right? And you were telling me
we were talking about that.
Okay, so here I'm looking at all the craziness that happened with the chicken sandwich on the social side, right? So I figured, well, let me go ahead and put the Cajun turkey so that people would have an idea of what the deal was all about. And I remember one of the posts got over 2,000 views, and that's pretty good for a turkey, in a bag, right? In a bag, right? That you can't see. That's the most exciting thing that's happened for a frozen turkey, and I don't know how long, So when Christmas came along, I had this Smithfield spiral sliced ham that was getting ready to go in the oven, and I figured, well, what's good for the turkey is good for the ham. Let me go ahead and take a photo of this ham. But the deal is, the ham went even crazier. I ended up getting 2 posts that did over 5,000 views.
Holy cow.
And everybody, I don't know about you, but everybody lives in a part of the country that can get a spiral sliced ham, right? It's not something you can't get anymore.
Right.
It's not like the old days when you wanted a 6-pack of Coors and you couldn't get it because it was in Colorado, you know? Right. So the deal is that this Smithfield ham is something that everybody should get a hold of. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you how it happened. What I did was, when I posted it, I was connected to, I don't know, like 12 guys from Smithfield, various people. They might be a regional manager, they might be in marketing, they might be in advertising, different people from Smithfield. So I sent the article to those 12 people. Now, on LinkedIn, the thing that you run into, you can be connected to somebody, but that person may check their LinkedIn once a month.
Right.
You might have other guys that check it once a week. You may have other guys check it once a day, and you might have other guys that check it all day long. Well, apparently maybe 3 of them went ahead and liked it or posted it or shared it or whatever. Well, long story short, 2 of the posts that I did on Smithfield got the attention of over 300 people from Smithfield. So there was over 600 Smithfield views. Okay, so what does that tell you? That tells you that they liked it and it went to their connection. And then let's say you only have 50. If you work for Smithfield and you only have 50 guys that you're connected to, well, guess what? Those 50 that you're connected to probably buy spiral sliced hams. They probably do. And then that's where it just took off. So I mean, I think that was one of the most exciting things during the course of the year.
And you can actually see it happening. That's the beautiful thing that I love about it, is that you can actually watch this trend take place and take off. And that's the beautiful thing about it is that with data in digital and social selling and everything that goes along with it, you have the data, you could see where the post is going. If it goes to 5,000 and then all of a sudden starts getting shared out over and over again, it's going places.
The thing is that on LinkedIn, there's not much sharing, right, compared to the other platforms.
Not nearly enough. Not nearly enough.
Oh.
Hey, I got a quick question, Randall.
Yeah.
Coming back here, I was going to say that somebody asked where the SSI. Oh, Lori Knudsen. Haven't checked the SSI in a while. Where do we find the information?
That's HTTPS, whatever, LinkedIn.com/sales/SSI. And then you click it and then you find out your score.
Yeah. And if you have a paid account, you can go into Sales Navigator and it's on the menu too. So
Right. But the thing is, anybody can do this.
Anybody can do this.
just clicking it. And what I recommend is, look, it's the beginning of the year. Check your SSI today and document it, write it down somewhere, and see where you are in January of next year.
Yeah, set your intention. Make sure you pay attention to what's going on and engage in the audience, engage in the community, and grow your community and see where you can take it.
And one thing I can tell you, it doesn't take much to get past the average. You could be on LinkedIn, share 3 articles, write 2 of them, and you're already past average.
Yeah. Don't be average. I didn't get up today to be average.
No.
This has been very helpful. This has been very awesome, Randal. And it's always a pleasure to connect with you. And considering the fact that we were talking about data this week, and I knew that you and I had been going back and forth and looking at some stuff on the Shield app. And if you want to look at that, I'll probably post something about that, or Randal's posted something about the Shield app as well in the past. It's an awesome technology that allows you to kind of give more visibility in your platform and what's going on in LinkedIn, in your LinkedIn platform. So
yeah, so anybody that follows me, what I do is I talk about food all the time. Food. That's what I'm talking about all the time. But I'm also talking about the things that you can do if you're trying to build your I'm kind of passing it along. And I'll just say this. Look, if you got a small company and you're doing $100,000 a year, which is, not much, and you have it's a husband and wife team, right? Hey, the husband writes a post, takes a picture of the 3 things you sell, and then the wife likes it and shares it. And then the wife gets 3 friends, that want them to succeed in their business of selling candy bars or cupcakes or chocolate chips or whatever the deal is. And it's all about getting the people that work with you to help share the information. That's what it all comes down to.
And it's all about the community. You don't know where your community is going to land, so pay attention to it.
Smithfield is a huge, gigantic company, right? I mean, they're huge, but you could get 5,000 views on a particular post, and you could have just 10 sales reps. If the 10 sales reps share information on the making of a gumbo or the boiling, shrimp. Yeah. And that's what you do for a living. You're in the seafood business, and you talk all about how to prepare boiled shrimp for the Super Bowl, whatever, right? Yeah. And everybody shares all the information. I mean, you can get traction, and you never know. One of your sales reps may have 2,000 connections.
Yeah, and you don't know where it's going to go, and if you don't share it, it's going nowhere.
Right, exactly.
If you're not on LinkedIn, it's going nowhere.
But the deal is, we live in 2020, and we have some high res, photo capabilities in our cell phones, and it's so easy. It wasn't like this, 40 years ago.
No, not even. Well, we weren't even doing this 10 years ago. So.
Yeah, remember we were happy that we could print a sign that says "car for sale" on the computer, with an IBM whatever. If that's
electric.
Look at that sign, that for sale sign. It's in high res. You can read the print. We were pretty amazed with that, right? But today it's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Randal, this has been an awesome show. I appreciate you, and tell Calvin I said hello, and thank you for being a pirate and sharing this information with the community and LinkedIn. And also, I'm now streaming this to a Periscope and Facebook and YouTube. So, and then this episode will be back on russjohns.com by the end of the day with the podcast as well. So we'll get this out and get this broadcast, get this news out to the world. Share it out. So everybody on the show, Philip, Tarathy, Gabriel, Sherry, Lori, Angie, shares matter a lot. Share this. If you like this comment and you were encouraged by it, or influenced by it, or you want to share it with somebody that needs this information, go ahead and share it. I would appreciate that. I know, Randall, you wouldn't mind if somebody shared
No.
this information at all. Okay. So Kenyatta, you're awesome. I love you. Thank you so much here. Wendy, thank you everyone that's been here. Jerry, I just appreciate you. Julio, Nick, Vicky, all of the individuals that joined us today. Thank you. All the appreciation and gratitude in the world. I love that you're here. And as you know, kindness is cool, smiles are free, and you enjoy the day. And off we go.
There you go.